What's up, everyone? Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different on the show. We are going to be talking about some mindset shifts and 3 pieces of information that I had to go through. I had to process to be able to level up at different stages in the business. And I've realized that these 3 pieces of information are going to happen again and again and again as I get to different levels in my business. So I wanted to share that with you in hopes that it can help you accelerate your path as well. Guys, if you're just joining the show, my name is Jonathan. I'm the host here at the Venue RX, and I'm also the CEO of Common Sense Events. Wearing the shirt today. We are a venue management company. And our goal here on this show is to document and share the best practices for building, owning, operating, managing world-class wedding venues. And today, like I said, we're gonna be deviating a little bit from some of the tactical stuff and some of the podcast stuff we typically do and talk about some mindset shifts. I was actually driving my kids to school the other day, and I was looking out my window. There was someone driving right next to us, and it was a guy right next to us. He was driving and he looked really tired. He looked like life had really beaten him down. And I was reflecting on times that I felt beaten down. I felt like, all the cards were stacked against me, that I made a bunch of wrong choices that had stacked against me, and kind of I was in this negative position, and bad position. And I was kind of, being empathetic to the vibe, I guess, that he was wearing all over his face. And I was wondering in that moment, what would I tell him? Or what would I go back and tell myself? If I could go back 3 years, 5 years, 8 years to when we were first starting our business and going through some of the processes of growth, what pieces of information would I share? And it's funny, as I was thinking about that, I started to realize, gosh, those pieces of information that were relevant for me going from 5 figures to 6 figures in our business, from 6 figures to high 6 figures to 7 figures and growing, those pieces of information continued to repeat themselves. And I have had the wonderful blessing of being exposed to a lot of incredible mentors. And so I thought about myself compared to them, and you shouldn't necessarily compare yourself to other people, but it's natural and we do it. And I was thinking about myself and what numbers our company is putting up and what numbers these other companies are putting up. And I thought, gosh, it's gonna take the same shift in thinking that I experienced to make those different shifts in our business. It's gonna take a similar shift to be able to get to the next place, to get to 8 figures and 9 figures. And so for us to do that, we have to be mindful of what those are. So I took a moment, I thought about it, and I realized it really does come down to 3 points. I wanna share those right now. Number 1, you have to have the belief that the change is for you. The next level is for you. And I think a lot of us, we might verbally accept that or mentally say, oh yes, of course, like the next level, that's where I'm coming, that's where I'm headed. But regularly we do things in our daily lives that prevent us from getting to that next level. And so I really think it comes down to a core belief and a core kind of personal ownership over what it's going to take to get to that next level, and the belief that you belong at that next level, that there is a seat at that table in the next level of your business that you belong at, that you own, that you are owed. And it's your duty and your responsibility to get there. So you have to claim that. You have to have that passionate belief that the next level, and whether that for you is maybe just starting your business, maybe that for you is getting to 6 figures, maybe it's multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, maybe you're going for 8 or 9 figures, wherever you're at, you need to realize that that next level, there is a space for you carved out that you have to get to. And you will get to it, and that space is for you. It's carved out, it's reserved for you, and you can own it. You can be excited and you can know that that's the direction you're going because that's who you are. It's that process of belief and ownership and understanding that that's where I'm headed and that's where I belong, and not doubling down on becoming comfortable in the time and in the zone that you're currently at, if you really want to get to that next level. And there's a ton of ways to figure out if you want to be at that next level, and one of them is complaining. Like if you're complaining about the area that you're in, that the next level, you're going to be complaining about something different probably, but some of those issues that you're looking to solve, they're going to be solved, right? So that's number 1. You have to have that belief, that overarching belief that yes, I own this. I'm going to get to the next level. I'm going to get to 7 figures in my business. I'm going to get to 6 figures in my business, whatever it is. I'm going to be more organized. I'm going to have more free time. I'm going to have less operational pain. I'm going to be making more sales. I'm going to have a sales team, right? And you have to start owning that you are the type of person that owns a business that does 7 figures. You're the type of manager who manages a sales team that delivers those sales to you, right? You are the type of leader that people people want to follow, whatever that next step is for you. And it's going to be different for each one of us in each of our businesses. The second piece of this, though, is you need to be willing to take some steps back in order to take some steps forward. And what do I mean by this? Well, I thought about a lot of the different times in my life where I had to make a transition, I had to make a change. In fact, most of the time, I can say confidently that all of the time, I had to give up something in order to get to the next level. Sometimes it was friendships and relationships that I really enjoyed and I really wanted to continue, but I realized that because I was, enjoying those relationships and because I was distracted by those relationships, it wasn't helping me go to the next place. So sometimes it's relationships. Sometimes it's comfort in a job, right? If you're switching from being employed to, being self-employed or being a business owner. And I went through that process several times. In fact, when I first started my business, I waffled back and forth quite a bit between being an entrepreneur and being someone who was employed and working for other companies. And it really was until my back was entirely against the ropes. I got a DUI. There were so many different things that came crashing down on me that I realized in that moment, you have to go all in on entrepreneurship. And I can share that story in a different time, in a different video. But for me, it took a lot to get me to commit and to double down on entrepreneurship. And so, whatever it happens to be, you're gonna have to give something up. You're gonna have to give up a level of security. You might have to give up some things personally, at different stages in our business. In fact, the most recent thing that I gave up was alcohol. This last year, I decided for 2022, I'm not going to drink at all. I'm gonna be completely cold turkey off alcohol because I wanna get to the next level. I wanna get to 7 figures in our business. I wanna keep growing our business, have more employees, have better systems, better operations, a better sales process and systems as we bring on more venues into our company. And so I was willing to give that up to be able to get to the next level. So that's point number 2. Find what you're gonna give up. Find what you know that if you give up, it'll clear space and it'll give you the white space that you need to double down on the new thing. And finally, number 3, what I realized I needed to do is, and I have to say, I really struggle with this. You have to execute. You have to go all in. You can't, you believe it's for you, this next level, you're willing to give things up. And then if you sit and do nothing or give a mediocre effort, you will absolutely not reap the rewards that are owed to you, that you're giving up things for, that you're sacrificing for, that you've already claimed. You're gonna be not able to take any of the benefits and reap any of the rewards from that if you don't execute, if you don't go all in, if you don't try really, really, really hard. And often I've noticed that it takes a lot longer than I think. I just tend to skew more towards being terrible with consistency and terrible with discipline. I feel like I constantly have ADD. I'm picking up my phone and looking at it and scrolling through Instagram or getting distracted or, starting other entrepreneurial things, entrepreneurial ADD, right? For my entrepreneurs out there that are listening, you know what I mean. There's so many incredible distractions and so much opportunity out there, but you have to execute on the one thing that you are truly passionate about. And so for me, I'm realizing that at all the different stages, these 3 things are gonna apply, right? I'm gonna have to have the belief that the next stage is for me. I'm gonna have to analyze, what do I need to give up in my current business, in my current habits and patterns and systems? What am I gonna need to give up to get to that next level? And then finally, I'm gonna need to execute a lot harder than I think I need to execute to be able to get to that next level. And so again, if this is you, if I'm speaking to you, and you're getting from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, maybe quitting your business to becoming self-employed, being self-employed, and you now want to shift and be a business owner, and you want to start systematizing things and bringing on employees, contractors, vendors, employees, whatever the case may be, right? You're going to have to make these shifts. And if you're going from 6 figures to 7 figures or 7 figures to 8 figures as you continue to scale your business, you're going to have to consider these 3 things and make sure that you have the belief that you are giving up what's necessary to make room for the new. And then number 3, you are executing so hard. And when you do that, I know you will win. And I want to hear about those wins. So if you can let me know, shout out in the comments, if you have had a recent win. That to me is worth celebrating. So I want to celebrate that with you. And I'd love to see. I'm going to be reading the comments and we're going to have to shout out people if you share. If you don't, that's okay too. Subscribe. And I would love if you shared this with someone who you cared about, who you felt like could benefit from the message. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to be putting out a lot more content just like this. I do this because this is a passion of mine, communicating in this way. And also the process of running a business and struggling with some of these things, it's hard, but it's totally worth it. So I wish you guys the best of luck as you're building your businesses, and we'll see you in the next video.